well, live and alive. Okay, just gonna do the usual setup stuff and then we'll get going. Today is March 1st. And yeah, just felt like hopping into the art room and doing something a little different today. But of course I have to do the editing first. Editing, and of course, putting this everywhere. There's the paste button. I don't want a ton of Facebook notifications. Paste there. Want to ignore Twitter after that. Oh, it is a thing. Oh, heavy holler, awesome. Oh, come on, seriously. Oh, I need to get off a dark theme on Windows. I can't see squat. There. Paste that. We're going to needle felt. I don't think this will be Snaggletooth's brother. He's going to look a little more evil than Snaggletooth will. But we're going to give it a shot. All right. And there. And head over to the geek room too, I think. Oh, they do have a share your content. How did I not know this? I don't have permission. Okay, all right. Okay, well that's fine. We'll have to talk to the guys. All right, now the basic editing stuff. If I were on the computer, I could just set this up and be off camera, but unfortunately that is not the case. I'll give you guys something to look at in the meantime. The big dragon in the back here, he's off camera work as a personal project because, and Cecil's wing is in the way, just because he's so big, there's no way. And that's the 5-footer that I'm working on. Yeah, he's just way too big to have on screen, so. The poor boy. And since we're gonna have music, I better have all the, oh, goddess bless it, all the, details like, whose music is what, so I don't get copyright strikes. Would be nice not to have those. Okay, save the changes, and there. There we go. I know I have sound, so that's awesome. All right, so the plan. A while back, Holy Spackle named me the Mother of Dragons, the real Mother of Dragons, and there's a reason why. Now, Cecilia, of course, is up on my Etsy store for $400, and that's with me paying for shipping. And she's a big girl. I've had her to one Renaissance festival, and just to walk around. She's been to Cub Foods, she's been to Walmart, she's got lashes, you know, she's a pretty girl. Super soft, she's all wool, there's a wire armature inside, and I wrap with wool yarn, and then and needle felt the wool over top. All the wools are hand dyed, of course, and she has epoxy claws that are painted and glazed. I still have to perfect on this, and Bartholomew, the red one over there, already the wire armature had broken his toes. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that yet. It's strengthening as a needle felt over top of it, so I may just leave it at that. But yeah, I have a little wooden bowl that she's going to be holding that has it's a little burl bowl, has tiny little holes on both sides, so I'm going to put it in her paws, I think, and I don't know what I'm putting in there yet. But yeah, she's somewhat posable, and this is what I do with my big ones, and I don't make very many of them because, well, they don't sell. Yeah, but we're going to do a smaller one today. So Cecilia's going to go back over here for now. Trying to set her up is a challenge. She's a big girl, and Bartholomew is bigger. Get in there. No, I want you over. There you go. That's a good girl. Stay put. Of course, this little guy has taken some damage over the years. This is Cecil. If you were on, oh, hi Nebulana. I wonder why. I was still editing the video though, so. Thank you, Adam. If anyone remembers Google Plus, there's a guy on there that goes by Deep Ashtray. And so when I worked on this dragon, I put out suggestions for people to name him, and Deep Ashtray named him Cecil, and it stuck. But yeah, he stands up. The eyes are glass. Same thing, wire armature. He was my first wire armature doll that I've done. So it was kind of a challenge to figure out how to do it. And at the Bristol Renaissance Festival, somebody stepped on his tail and ripped it right off. I've had, also at the Minnesota one, I've had people step on silks that I'm wearing and deliberately, one guy I turned to see him behind me, and he deliberately smashed my silks into the mud with his foot. So there was a boot print, and there's still a boot stain. So some people can be pretty nasty about things. But Cecil here, a little at Bristol Renaissance, a 4-year-old tried to take off with him, grabbed his tail and tried to run. And then there's this amazing leather shop that always is there, the leather guys, and so they have like bins of like metal bits and odds and ends and stuff, and so I was holding Cecil and going through and looking for D-rings for collars, and some kid came around the corner and he's like, "Where'd you get that dragon? Where'd you get it?" And I said, "I made it." "Well, I want to buy one. Where is it?" "No, he's not for sale. I made him." "Well, I want it. Where did you buy him?" I'm like, "I did not buy him." His dad comes around the corner. Look, here's his kid yelling. Comes around the corner, looks at me, looks at Cecil, has this completely shocked look on his face, goes white, grabs his kid and pulls him away. Not a word said from Dad. So it's like, no, no, you don't get the dragon, hon. But yeah, he's actually weathered, he stands on my hand. He would be sitting on laps and stuff like that. He's weathered quite a few years at the Renaissance Festival. and at Cub Foods and Walmart. There's going to be another shopping trip with dragons. Maybe I should do that today. That'd be fun. Yeah, so I am the mother of dragons. Stay. Stay. I have dragon horns too, but I'm not wearing them today. Let me see if this is actually, if it's letting it monetize here. I thought I had monetization on. It's on. Okay. I don't know why that didn't work, but might be I was still just setting up too, so we'll see. Let me get out of the editor quick. There. If I'm out of the editor, that might help. And I appreciate it. Things have been absolutely crazy the last couple weeks, mainly this last week. I'm submitting a resume tonight. It looks like I have an interview to get a new full-time job, and I'm staying with my other job. I only have 1 day a week with them right now, but the little boy and I are very, very bonded, and same thing with the family, and I'd really hate to leave, but all I can get is 1 day a week with my company, so it's like, yeah, second job time. Get full-time somewhere else, and I might be able to return to one of my old clients from years ago that I took care of for 10 years, and not have to do a lot of lifting, but they said my weight restriction for lifting is not a problem, so I'm hoping. It'd be nice. All right, so what I start out with, of course, is the fluff. They've been selling acrylic versions of roving to make, finger braid blankets and stuff with. And the problem is that this really does shed really easily. So if you see those kits for making those huge Afghans at any craft store stuff, don't bother, because you're not going to be able to wash it. Acrylic doesn't felt as nice. You would actually need wool in order for it to felt while being washed. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think they said for one they need nurses, and it looks like my pay might be a little bit better too, because I've been a nurse since '96. Well, thank you, Nebulana. I appreciate it right now. It helps a lot. So this is my starting point, and I have picked out eyes. We're going to go with a red and gold dragon. Let's see if I can get these eyes up here. So that's a pair of eyes that I'm going to go with. I have a huge bin full of nothing. Thank you. A huge bin full of nothing but these little gabichons, or cabochons, pardon me, I've been gaming too much. They're all glass, and they're all random, so I had found like 100 of them for $9, and I bought a couple packs because they had the same random assortment in each bag, so I just went and mixed and matched. So I have a whole ton of these eyes matched already, ready to go. So that's the pair we'll be going with today. And I use E6000. Once I have the base structure in place, I E6000 the eyes into place, and then needle felt over top of them to create the eyelids and stuff. And so we will go from there. Yay, ta-da! So let me flip the camera around. I haven't done this with the tablet in place before. Heavy Hauler has my Kyrin, so I've done this on camera before, but just not with this. So the needles I use, they are as sharp as they look. I tend to bust them, so I have like a huge container of them here. Usually I have finger guards for big area projects, but not in this case. But these needles are barbed, and they're about 4 to 5 inches long. Yeah, I love it, because one of the things that it is that if you look under a microscope, any animal hair, this is human hair, cat hair, anything, if you look under the microscope, it's got little scales, which plant fibers and artificial fibers don't have. So when you're taking this needle and you're poking these scales together, you'd watch under the microscope where it would start interlocking, and that's what we're going to do. Oh, thank you, Rachel. Yay, coffee. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Bob Ross, you guys. Positive energy. When you need positive energy, you got to have Bob Ross. My one can I'm not getting into. I probably should, though, because that's going to get nasty someday. Well, you know, we can't do art without Bob Ross. It's kind of almost plum flavored. It's really good. How did I get cat hair in my hand lotion? Really? It's like long Maine Coon hair in my hand lotion. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, you do. You need to do drawing videos again. I have to lotion up because this will dry out your hands really, really bad. Yeah, and that's sad. All the money was made after the guy died, you know? Yeah. That's really sad. And he was such a huge part of many people's lives, you know? Well, what I have is, for drinking, though, is Diet 7-Up. I have one more can left, and then I'm going to be saying no more of that again. And I have watered down Crystal Light with caffeine and vitamins in it, so. Getting away from the sugar again. So my goal is to have a dragon probably about yay big, and he's going to be sitting up. So what I need to work on first is the head. I just pull this stuff apart. I didn't like the Ziva. Well, kind of pretty, kind of evil a little bit maybe, or guarding his treasure, depends on where the person puts him. So yeah, it's just stabbing over and over again. Stabby, stabby. Really good when you're not in a great mood, but you also have to be really careful. I have donated blood to many projects. I do just start out trying to form a ball and then just add to it. Make sure I'm on camera. Let me actually bump this up a little bit more. There we go. That'll be better. That way I can lean forward without the iPad hitting me in the forehead. I haven't tried the root beer yet. The black cherry was nasty. I mean, I still drank it because you know, it's like $6 for a 6-pack up here. And I wanted something carbonated, but you know what? The cheaper carbonated waters you get are better tasting than that black cherry was. And I had quit pop for a while, but when I ended up with the stomach flu and Sprite's the only thing you can drink, yeah. I was back on soda again really fast. So it's like the only thing I could keep down, and mac and cheese of all weird things. And chicken broth. It was just bizarre. But I'm back to working out, and still my diet isn't the best. I've been depressive eating this week because it's just been hell. But, you know. But things will right themselves. They have to. I don't have to do this super tight right now because I'll be adding color over top. Oh, yeah, except it's not, hopefully it isn't coronavirus, because they're finding cases spreading inside the U.S. from one citizen to the next now, so. Although they're saying that the best thing, even though the flu shot didn't cover a lot of stuff, the current respiratory flu that's starting to go around is actually covered by the flu shot. And it also is one of the best preventions for the coronavirus, because even though that is a completely different virus, if you're not sick with the flu, you have less likely of a chance for the coronavirus to actually take you down all the way. So preventing getting sick from any flu is better than having the flu and then getting that on top of it, because that would kill you. So I can't afford a flu shot today. I think I'd have to pay out of pocket through my insurance, and I got to figure out how much I have in my pocket. Oh, good. Hi, Mudbrooker. Oh, yeah. Once you're off the prednisone, that'll help. Flu shots actually are not free. I'm going to check when I'm at Walmart today, because I got like 12 bucks in cash. I'm going to go to Walmart and they're the only place in my area that seems to carry this one ramen that I like. It's a kimchi ramen, because I used to eat shrimp ramen when I would have ramen before, but I'm allergic to shrimp. So I found this really good kimchi one, and even our Asian supermarket, which is this huge store, doesn't carry it. So I have to run to Walmart today. So I'm going to see with my insurance how much that flu shot's going to cost me, because I don't have to take care of somebody till 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So although I probably could wait till Tuesday to get it, because if I remember correctly, getting the flu vaccine, once I have the flu vaccine, I can still have a chance of spreading the flu to somebody that is immune suppressed. And a heart transplant for sure is immune suppressed, because they have to suppress the immune system. So I think before, I had to wait a couple days before I could go to work with that one kid that had a two kids. This is my third one with a heart transplant. And the ones before, I had to wait a couple days before I could come in after having a flu shot. So we'll see. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Every little bit helps, trust me. All right, so we're going to start attaching a neck. Let's go this way. And this one is not going to be wired. So there's going to be very limited posing. It'll be able to be adjusted a little bit after, you know, after shipping or whatever. I might not get all of them done today. We'll see how much I keep going. The twisting helps too. Helps me control the fibers and lock them into place a little better. All right, lamp, move out of the way. Sorry, I bumped it, but had a lamp in the way. I got into Minecraft and was working on a secret building. Hi, Carrie. I'm making a new one. Carrie's my sister-in-law. That's the photographer and the historian, so she's a fantastic photographer. Crazy artist family, everybody. This gets dangerous. I was doing this while in a live hangout with Shadow Heathens and Dragnot and several others way back. And I think I was working on Cecil at the time. And somebody kept asking in the live chat what, because it was off camera, what that fapping sound was. Oh, yeah, I gotta watch my fingers. I like live chats where I can just sit there and, you know, even if I'm on camera, I'm painting or drawing or something or doing Minecraft or something, but... I went to the Dollar Tree yesterday, Carrie, and bought a $1 pack of Nerf darts for the cat. She's having a good time with her darts. That's how I got my computer science degree at first, as I was doing one class at a time. I was at my community college for 8 years, but the Comp Sci program was a 4-year program in a 2-year community college. And I finished the 2-year portion of that and then switched over to nursing, but for a long time I wasn't able to get any student loans or anything because they went and had determined that my parents' horse business was way too much, too big in assets. and they weren't going to give me any financial assistance whatsoever, no grants or anything, unless my parents got rid of their business, which was ridiculous. You know, back in the day, I think I got my RN license back in 1996, so that was a while back. Oh, have fun, Mudbrooker. Well, I don't know how fun a brake line is. It doesn't sound fun. Okay. Probably going to look like a swan for a while. See, Carrie, I'm watching where my fingers are. Oh, nice. Hi, Planet. Yeah, I'm moving more stuff since we've decided we're gonna fight to hang on to this place. I'm moving more stuff up into my upstairs room and get ready for the whole bed moving and everything, you know, down to the main floor. But that's a process because I'm sorting things into bins too, so that I have like all my laces together for bookmaking and for collar making, and have all my leathers together and my wools together. And I have to go through and wash an entire alpaca hide and then run all of that through the carder to get it ready to use. I love alpaca. They're so cute. Pigs are adorable too. Hi, Mom. Yeah, that's the one thing I've got though, is I have storage space. And it's like, I just thought over everything, and you know, I could easily upend and move to Duluth, but it's like, I don't want to upend everything. By the time we get the cost of moving done and all of that, it's not going to save us anything. If I have a second job, that'll take care of it. We'll hang in there even if Troy has to get disability at some point. We'll still be able to make it, because we just got to get through this garnishment for a year here, I think, or until December. So if I can get the job situation fixed, and have a job, that'll make a big difference. I have a big box of Western Horseman magazines downstairs. I'm gonna go and photograph all of those and list them on Etsy under vintage, because they're quite old. Individual And then I have to do more designs for mugs and stuff like that. Dragon of Marduk has made it to a mug and to a tapestry. I'm going to start doing some designs for Fur Affinity too, just to see if I can get sales on there. This I think is the time to just really start pushing my business a lot more and just, you know, it's time for a change. I've been depressed, of course, but it's like, you know, do I take this as an opportunity or do I just sit there and bemoan myself? So, or other nurses and stuff who've taken changes like this and made opportunities out of them and ended up in Doll Reader magazine and everything else for their crafts. So why not me? Stop dropping the eyeballs. Okay, I rescued the eyeballs. They stuck to my elbow. Yeah, I've got some merch on the Etsy store already. Oh, well, thank you, Adam. I love that. I make wands here too, but right now I don't have a place to do the wood carving. And I have a saw, a scroll saw that I sit on and bicycle on it to operate it, and that's in the garage, but the one car that we can't sell is in the garage. The bank lost the lien release papers, and they were trying to send to the state, so we can't get the title on the car to get rid of it. So it sits in the garage, taking up my workspace, which is just meh. It's not right. I have a bunch of blanks cut for wands and for walking sticks and stuff, but this summer I have to work on Santa's walking stick. Have to. Yeah, I saw that about Etsy. Oh, well, thank you, Carrie. I don't know what... Yeah. Yeah. We're crazy. No, I saw that Etsy's changing their policies. I haven't read the policy change yet, but like Yvonne Williams is leaving Etsy over it. And at that point, I can set up my own shop. I could do it on my own website, but there's no way I'm going to get enough, oh gosh, clicks doing that, because then I'll have to pay separate for advertising and stuff. I'm actually thinking of knuckling under and doing the $40 a month on Amazon for their shop. Oh, doll customizations. I was watching some really good ones today. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to read through the policy and decide for myself. They've had, you know, YouTube was having a problem when they decided we all had to label our videos for, are they for children or not? And everybody went all up in arms over it. And Etsy had policy changes before that everybody's gone up in arms over. And I'm like, you know, I'm going to just see what happens. And usually I'm right to just sit and wait it out. And if it's a big hassle and I can't get advertising, you know, or anything like that, or can't get sales because of it, well, then I'm just going to put a shop up on Amazon and That probably means I won't have enough to do pagan pride events anymore for selling there, but I can still face paint. It depends on what, you know, what volume I get off of Amazon. So it's something I've considered. Stabby, 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 stabby. Yes, it is. It's very therapeutic. Okay, Carrie, I have no problems with that. Oh, yeah, Dolly NX was the one I started watching for the first time today. Her Haunted Mermaid, where she had the coral coming out of one eye, and it's like, oh gosh, that's so wonderfully creepy. I figured that was Gail. All right, that's getting to take too long. Time to bring out the big guns. 3 needles at a time. Nope, that's not going to work so good. That will when I get the color laid onto it, but not for the basic shape. Stabby, 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 stabby. See, I got my resume cleaned up, got my work history together, and this is a company that I applied to before that they wanted me, but then I got full-time with the other one. So I'm going to just resubmit everything. Since it's all online, which is really nice, and it's a larger company, so even if I, you know, can't continue with one case or somebody ends up in the hospital or something like that, I have another place I can go with the same company and not lose my benefits, because I'm definitely going to lose my benefits this month. So I missed those 2 weeks of work before, and of course now I've missed all week here because of this mess. So yeah, that's the sad part about home care, though, is it's feast or famine. Always has been. I'm making a little red dragon, and he's going to be sitting like he's guarding treasure. Stabby, stabby, stabby. I have to keep these felted figures away from Wraith. I had to remove all needle felted cat toys I made because he deliberately will put his paw on it and take his teeth and just shred. He just rips things apart, and it's like, I fear the poor mouse that ever encounters that cat. No, I haven't, Nebulana. I'm doing it just because. This one will be up for sale. That's why I decided to do a smaller one today. Yeah, I know more about, you know, the shanty drama and some of this Amy's life journey. And then there's this other influencer, some gal trying to be an influencer that had a real big fit about her 2-year-old getting into her alien makeup palette and hit the kid on camera several times. And I mean, it's just, I just can't. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm going back to watching Minecraft videos. I'm going back to doing this. It's just, although I watched G-Man last night. Ended up this morning leaving a comment. Do you know when you say that someone allegedly died, that means that you don't think they actually died? And he's talking about somebody that, you know, a bunch of us from the great debate community knew that did pass away. And it's like, dude, do you know what the word allegedly means? I don't think that means what you think it means. Yeah. Yeah, it was, oh yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I was hoping for Life by Jen, but you know, she's got a recovering addict living with her. And when I worked in psych and I had, I would go as needed to the detox unit and stuff. And because a lot of borderline personality disorder patients get into drugs and alcohol and stuff, you're always dealing with the fact that they always try to teach patients on the locked units not to go either back to the crowd of people that they were helping them get their fix and keep their addiction going, or to go and be with an addict, because all that's going to do is encourage those addictive behaviors. Even if their addiction is something else, they just seem to reinforce that coping mechanism that got them in trouble in the first place. And that's what's happening with Jen, is she is living with some guy who's a recovering alcoholic, and he's backslid a few times, and she's got a food addiction and is, what, 500 some odd pounds? And the two of them are not doing any good for each other. And she's openly admitted she just doesn't want to get up and do things. And, you know, it's different than having medical problems like you know, some people with prednisone and stuff like that, with constant doses of it, they're going to gain weight regardless what, you know. But in her case, that's not the case. And she's openly said she does not, she likes going around in the wheelchair. And it's like, oh my God, you're never going to get your health back, girl. Oh, thrifting is fun. Yeah, it does make me sad, and that's why I can't watch it, you know. Same thing with Amber. I'll once in a while just watch just to see what, you know, what the reaction channels are doing with her, but it's not entertaining anymore. It's very caustic. It's depressing. I mean, I've gotten back up to my starting weight of last year again. I'm at 225 again. It's just like, it makes me depressed. I mean, I had only lost 10 pounds anyway. And I was down to 215, and so just gaining that 10 pounds back really depressed me. And it's like, I just don't want it, you know. I don't need that in my life right now. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And the only thing I worry about with the starch solution is the fact that I am diabetic, and that would not be good for me. But, you know, I'm back to just watching what I eat, which helped me lose the 35 pounds I lost before. So I'm just going back to that. And then when I was doing that, I did not use MyFitnessPal. I didn't do any of that. I just worked out and home cooked everything and just did that stuff. And that's what because I did a video and I didn't upload it. But once I got into using MyFitnessPal as heavy as I was, all I was doing was obsessing about what I was putting in my mouth. And I wasn't enjoying eating. I wasn't enjoying anything. And I know a lot of weight loss trainers will say, well, you're not supposed to and all this. And it's like, no, I was not in a good place doing that. So, you know, some people may say it's an excuse. I don't think so. It did not put me in a good place. Yeah, it had some results, and I could see the weight loss in my face, and I liked that, but it just, I wasn't happy with it. And it's like, I have enough going on without having to make myself that far down, you know. So if I can go and get myself back into slowly losing like I was, where I dropped that weight after my wedding, then so be it. And I didn't put the video up just because I was too lazy to put the video up. All I have to do is upload it. It's edited and everything. And it's still current because I only did it like 3 weeks ago, if that. But I know people are going to say I'm another Amber or something like that. And I think that's where I've hesitated on uploading it. And once again, it's because that whole community, that whole thing is so toxic. And I feel really bad for Shani. Her mom and I talked for quite a while on the phone. And I do feel bad for her because all she's seeing is what people are doing to her, and she's not realizing what things she's doing to herself. And there are people that are they are stalking her in a lot of ways. And it's just really super hard to watch. And then she doesn't realize that she's putting the fodder out there. And I've told James Helton, Von Helton, the same thing over the years, is you can't put this stuff out there because people are going to use it as a weapon. And I think the situation is just getting worse and worse, in part because of the way people are treating them on the internet. But yes, in the same breath, they are putting crap up there too. I mean, the whole porn situation was something else. It's both parties are to blame, but the internet can be a very, very toxic place, especially YouTube. you know. Yeah, it's exactly it. Yeah, that's the thing is with me, home cooking helps a lot, and the MyFitnessPal wasn't really helping me. My problem this week has been I made the mistake of buying chips again, and I've been eating those instead of eating meals. You know, I just completely substituted, and that's not the right thing to do. But then I made a stir fry last night. I had, and I have leftovers of it. I had tofu in there and fresh sweet potatoes and onions and parsley, kimchi, carrots, celery. I just threw in stuff that I had together, and it tastes really good. So, but I found out I really, really like my hot stuff real bad since I can't have shrimp anymore. A lot of vulnerability in posting that sort of thing online. So I understand how hard it is for them at the same time that they keep having issues and relapsing. And yeah, they have, I hate to say it, I think it has been gang stalking. I mean, you know, and drag does what drag does, and you know, he's a military guy and stuff, and everybody seems to go together and is commenting and making people aware of these people that are doing pretty terrible things, and that includes those two. They have done some terrible things. But you know, like Shani filming while claiming her son was on his way to uh, the mental health unit for suicide watch. She shouldn't have been filming, you know. And so now people are saying, well, that whole thing was fake or whatever. I don't think it was. I think she only has one coping mechanism, and that was it. And it's not making an excuse or anything. It's just I think that's what's going on. She only knows one coping mechanism. And it was very hard to watch. I don't think it was a case of crocodile tears. I don't think anything else. I think she just doesn't know anything else, and whether there's, you know, something organic going on with a disorder that we don't know about, or, you know, she needs therapy. She definitely does. And I think she stays on the internet because she has nobody else to talk to. And it just backfires over and over and over again. And she needs to be off the internet, but she's lonely. It's just like G-Man. The two of them keep getting back together because G-Man is lonely. I think the only people he is comfortable with talking to are on the internet and his inner circle of friends. He doesn't have anybody else. And yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I have family and stuff, but you know, with as much as I work, my socialization was the families that I go and work with their kids. That's about it, you know. And my husband. And while he's an introvert, I'm not, you know. And I think that's part of the problem. Just Cat LaFoca, there's my hubby, my introvert hubby. Yeah, delivering pizzas. He lost 100 pounds. Because they didn't have time to eat and be running stairs and everything else. So it's like he just shed weight like you would not believe. Oh gosh, I have 80 pounds to go, Rachel. Yeah, that's exactly it. Just, I feel good for a while, and then it's like all of a sudden, oh, well, I can handle this one. You know, I'm just going to buy a bag and it'll be fine. And then I get into them again. But so I figured if I get my muscles and endurance and everything else going a lot better, that's still going to keep my blood sugar stable and keep me from having to go to insulin or anything. So, and I've done it before. I just need to continue. All right, I need to see. Thought I still had some leftover red wool felt. If not, I have another color wool felt. And I need to cut some wings. Cutting. Scissors. Whoops. Just a second. I do have red wool felt. By the way, this you can get online on Amazon. It's Dimensions wool felt. This is pure wool. It's just in sheets, ready to use. It's fantastic. Love it. But I need scissors. What did I do with my scissors? Really, Feather? I know where all the scissors are. Just a second, you guys. I've left them alone in the chat room. I'm sorry. I have scissors! Yay! All right. So he's not going to have super big wings. Maybe. I'm just going to fold this in half and cut a general wing shape. Yeah, that should be good. I don't want to make him too big because of the fact that he is not wired. So if I have him way too big, it's going to be really, really hard to not have them get wrecked. So dragon wings, generally, I go kind of bat shaped. And I have this folded because the fold is going to be felted right to the dragon. And I always go and do a little further down. So you actually get the Batman shape, almost. So it's wider in the center. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to felt onto this first. Get the shape stable, and then we'll attach it and start felting from there. He will have wings too, or legs too, by the way. Just right at the moment, not quite. I need to see if I have any more of that. This is a variegated orange. Kind of cool. Don't know if I have more. Lots of plain red. Also, I have this really, really nice goldenrod color. That's going to look really nice, and that'll kind of go with the eyes. Sorry, still digging for colors. I'm going to do a little bit of that. And the fun thing with the needle felting is you can take all sorts of wool scraps and make something of them. You don't have to have huge amounts of anything. Yeah. So at least I have his wing size. I'm going to at least get his face started because we need to figure out a personality here. Oh, thank you, Nebulana. Yeah, I'm a short girl. I'm 5 foot. Have a good day. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss any. Yeah, I sometimes think I should need to get back into therapy too. It's been a long time. All right. That black wasn't supposed to be in there. Oh well. Now this size, I don't get very detailed on scales because it's hard to get detailed. I think if I do a full dragon head bust, I might be able to work on full scales, but like even Bartholomew back there, the red one I'm working on, has just scales along his belly and neck and stuff, where I'm actually sculpting three-dimensional scales. Cecil and Cecilia don't, but their garden dragons are a different breed, so they're more leathery than scaly. They are my garden dragons that I'm slowly writing about. There. This gets hard after a while. Oh, yeah. And I think after latest events, I'm probably going to need to do that. Just kind of let it go for a little bit. Because there was a whole big mess behind that whole thing. And when it started, it really hurt in the first place. And it's not something I haven't run into before. But, you know, like one time I had somebody I was caring for years that was like, well, you can't, only Christians can do good. And here I'm bathing him, you know. And I just broke down and started crying. And I said, you know, and you have known, I'm not Christian. And what am I doing right now? And he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And he finally understood, you know. So it's not new to me. But this was just pure vitriol to me. It was extremely upsetting. And I think in part is because they're going to paint me as something evil to a child that's been part of my life for 5 years too. And I love her. I love this child a lot. But I get attached to all of them I take care of anyway. So, you know, that's the nature of me. There. Starting to get a face. Sometimes I'll sculpt the jaw, lower jaw, and then attach it, but I didn't feel too like this time. I'm going to try to shape this jaw. Going to be a little more snub-nosed. That's the nice thing about How to Train Your Dragon. It's like dragons can just, now people don't look at, well, is it Western or Asian? Dragons can look as weird as you want them. You know, it's really refreshing, actually. You want to have a winged rhinoceros, you know, that, oh God, that sounds scary as heck. That just sounds terrifying, since rhinoceros are not friendly. Having one that could fly and breathe fire would be terrifying. I just amused myself in some sick way. That's just warped. All right. Okay. There's a start. Alrighty, let's get... So I am going to have to... Let's sink in the black first behind the eyes. I always put black behind the eyes because it... Or really, this is a really dark brown. Before I glue the eyes in because it gives a lot of depth. So when I make the eye hole, I'm automatically starting to fill it in. Let's make sure these eyes fit. Oh yeah, those are gonna work. But it makes the eye just kind of look like it's a lot more inset. Like with, come here, Cecil. So you see Cecil's eyes look really, really intense. It's because there is a lot of black way behind in here before I glued it in. And then I just felted around it to lock the eye in place. And it works. If the sculpture's really, really tiny, I will put crystals in for eyes or just needle felt and eye design like I did on the sitting wolf that I sculpted a couple years ago. Right now, the eye shape isn't that important. It's just getting that hole. And then, of course, you want to make sure, come here, eyeball. Want to make sure that's going to fit. And then if you have like a design that's like asymmetrical, like this one is round in the center, it's not going to be a big deal. But even then, it's a little bit off center. So you want to make sure that between both sides, you're going to have that eye design right in the same position. Thank you, Rachel. So basically, I'm making his skull right now. Oh, wow. You're fast, Mudbrooker. Okay, I gotta lotion my hands again. This is probably not the best project for somebody with severe eczema. That's why I'm not wearing jewelry today, too, on camera, because I have to do a lot of the lotioning. Yeah, there is... I don't know if you can see it, but there's Maine Coon cat hair in my hand lotion. I don't know why. I don't understand. It was like, we have a fluffy cat in the house or something. Okay, I take my finger and I try to match it with my thumb to get on the same spot on the other side of the skull. And then just start doing the same thing. Plugging the dark material in and trying to form that hole for the eye socket. Where you're going to have to match the shape exactly, of course, is when you do the color work over top of this, once the eye's glued in. Right now the shape doesn't have to match, it just has to be in the right spot. And this 3-prong tool works really well for locking these fibers in super tight. He's loose right now. He's loose as a goose, but he's going to really stiffen up. And you see I kind of made him a little thinner right up in here. And I'm going to continue to do so. And then back to the other side with the same thing. Okay. That should give me enough of a base. We're going to add a little bit more to the skull too. I need to get some black in here first. Oh. Oh gosh. A cinder block. I shouldn't laugh. I've seen people do that around here. Okay. This again is to just give depth inside the mouth. You don't want to rely on just the actual holes. You want to be able to accentuate it by putting shading and stuff in, because you're basically sculpting and painting at the same time when it comes to needle felting. If I were doing this in bronze, I would just, you know, once the sculpt was finished, I would rely on patina, you know, to add highlights and stuff. But in this case, I have to think about where the shading is and actually force the shading into the sculpture. Mudbrooker. So now I start with a 3-prong and shove this in here. So I'm going to also make this, the jaw, a little bit longer on the top, so this will cover that hole, or cover that dark spot so it's not sticking out. Okay. That works. Yeah. Alrighty. Actually, kind of like the idea of him being a lot more snub-nosed. I think that's going to work out pretty well. Neighbors are out with the kids and the little puppies. Going down the alley with the little kid, and although I've met the puppy before, not a puppy, it's an older toy poodle, and boy, she's mean. Very few dogs hate me. That one hates everybody and has tried to, I think, tried to bite me several times. But she's kind of blind, so she can't tell where she's going. Like, thankfully. Okay. I'm going to give a little bit more skull structure here. At this time, I just have to tack that down because that'll be locked into place with the red. Shading with fabric is fun. And again, I twist it just to make it sit better. All right. Yeah, that's pretty close. That's pretty good. Almost a little snake-like. I kind of like it. Need to adjust this here. Better. Okay, now I need to get a little bit more wrapped around here to strengthen that neck. Ah, it's stuck to my fingers. My wool roving, I have certain sellers from eBay that I buy it from. Like, I think it's like $60 for 10 pounds of the white, which 5 pounds is a lot in one sitting too, so it works out really well. Okay, a little bit more to strengthen the shoulder. Yeah. Kind of looking that way. Little serpentine here. As long as I don't give her a rattlesnake tail, we'll be safe. It's possible. I suppose it depends on what colors I finish giving her. At my in-laws right now, cutting styrofoam bits, and the English Springer is chasing the bits around. Goofy animal. All right. While this is drying, I'm going to have to work on another part of the body. But do I use this glue or the other one? If I remember correctly, the other one didn't stick so good. Ow. Guess what else I forgot? Pliers. Okay, this I have to be very careful. I don't want to get it all over my fingers. Crap. Crap. Guess what I did? Putting these eyes a little further forward in the socket. And the nice thing about E6000 though is because it dries clear, it gives it a wet look as well. So it looks like you have more of a liquidy eye. It's the snakes you don't hear that you got to worry about. Yeah, even garter snakes in Minnesota, because like they stink if they get you. Well, they don't get you. If you pick them up, they stink. You know, self-defense mechanism. Smelly. So yeah, that'll stay in place just fine. Eyes look pretty even. Good. So we'll go on to another part of the body and then come back to the head. So I gotta make sure that they're fairly even. Sorry, was off camera. So I just kind of look at the top of the head and push them into position into the glue, and just make sure that they match. All right, now what do I want to do? Let's at least get the wing design done. I know we don't have legs yet. So I do the underside of the wing first, and that's just because it gives me a kind of a base. And I'm gonna trim this a little bit more, just to get a little bit better shape, a little bit more curve to it. So I kind of just added a little curve there, make it look better. And then I will felt this piece right back on here, because it'll just give a little extra strength. But we'll do the underside first. I'm going to get a little bit of black. And because it's wool felt, I can felt right to it. Edges will be a little uneven, and that's okay. And you see it kind of fuzzes through the other side. Right now, that's not a big deal. And with a soft sculpture like this, it's okay. But I'll take scissors and trim the fuzzes afterward if I want it smoothed out. Although on a, you know, kind of a furrier critter, it doesn't matter too much because you want the furry. You want the fluff. All the fluff. It's like our favorite word. Chell is getting so elegant. She's just this sleek, medium-haired cat. And then Balam is looking Maine Coon. She is this huge, solid thing of fuzz. And she's just getting so big and heavy. I picked her up the other day and I'm like, oh my gosh, this cat is heavy. And they're only 10 months old. So yeah, we have floof. You notice this is getting more stable already as I'm locking fibers into it. You don't have to use the felt. On Snaggletooth for Grampy Lobster, I made the wing just with the wool roving and made my own felt right there at a craft sale. Was sitting at the table working on Snaggletooth. But considering that there's a lot more colors of this pre-done wool felt, it's so much easier to deal with. A lot of people use this and cut out flowers and stuff like that. Don't have too much fun bleeding breaks. Hopefully that goes quick and easy there. Okay. And then we're going to do, whoops. All right, so I'm gonna attempt to do a little ombre here. So you want to kind of break this up into small pieces. This is my orange. Lay these out first. The middle of the back I'm not too worried about because that's going to be attached to the body. Okay, and then I'm going to go with the goldenrod color. Now, some people will do this with soap, dish soap, and hot water and bubble wrap and stuff, and do wet felting. For this kind of sculpture, you don't need to. All right, so then just work it in, and it's going to be kind of, some of the red fabric will show through, stuff like that. But when you do the red from the other side, the fluff will come through, and it's just going to lock everything into place and look pretty cool. It makes it a little bit more random. This gets hard on the arm. Oh, my daughter sent me something on Instagram. Okay, time to flip over, and you can see all the fluff has come through this side. I actually, yeah, should put that on there. Just to strengthen that. Okay. Yeah, that strengthened that a lot. So now actually I think I'm going to take this mulberry and just go over the tip a little bit. Okay, and you can see it comes through on both sides, which is kind of what I want. Okay. So a little more mulberry on this side. And I don't think I'm going to do much else right here. A little bit of red in there. And I kind of like this black and yellow coming through. Actually like that a lot. Let's make it come through some more. Now with wet felting, you wouldn't get these fibers coming through, the top and bottom. Okay, so a little bit more mulberry right here. I actually really love that look. I really like that. God, that looks cool. Looks really cool. All right. Smooth it down a little bit. My phone's going off the hook here. I am going to have to clean this up a bit, so we'll take some of the red. Because his body will be out of this red, I think. What happened to my bag of red? Ow! Okay, conk to my head. Let's be glad I don't give shots like that. Feather. Oh, Feather. What did you do with your red? Oh, it's over there. Okay. I want to make sure I have the red that blends into the body in the right color. Okay. Back through the other way. See how nicely that blends on both sides. The more you work it through, that turned out pretty good. I like that. So what that's going to give us I'm going to just lock these wings into place here. And because there are times, like at sales booths and stuff, kids will handle these. You want to make sure these wings are on really good. So there's going to be more fiber locked over top of this. And of course, you know, as the sculpture continues, these wings are going to be really nicely locked into place. They'll have some flexibility, they'll be able to move a bit, but kids aren't going to be able to rip them off without some serious effort. So yeah, his wings are just pretty simple, and I think they're pretty effective. And the color variation, I sometimes like doing the dry felting over wet felting just because it looks nicer. Good grief. Okay. I've got Laura Jade on Skype right now, and I had asked her earlier because I'm doing this angel statue in my Dragon Coast build. Oops, bumped that. And hubby looked at it and he says, it's kind of looking creepy at this point. It's looking like a weeping angel from Doctor Who. And so I sent Laura Jade a message. I said, did Jade like Doctor Who? And she responded back that she didn't ever hear Jade mention Doctor Who. So she doesn't know. But the fact that it isn't quite turning out the way I expected it, Jade would have found extremely amusing. So I was like, okay, I think we're going to go with that then. It should be dry enough. Looks like it. So, here we go. I'm going to get this head worked. Actually, I need to get more white on the skull first. So I'm going to have to go over top of that with the color. Still a little tacky yet, but this will keep the eyes nicely in place. Lock the other side in. Oops. trying to figure out where to put her. Did the craziest sea serpent for my niece. I did a pink one and sewed pearls all over her and everything, including freshwater pearls and stuff. She came out really cool. But boy, that was a crazy sea serpent. Oh. Okay. Now let's start working the reds in. Go with 2 strands of this, I think. Here goes my Fitbit. You got to get up and walk around. I'm sculpting. Leave me alone. Okay, so that's what she's starting to look like. Oops, I got a twist there too, because that kind of mimics scales without, when you have a variegated roving like this. When you twist it, it ends up mimicking scales a little bit. Add some interest. And we lock that there. Kind of like to have that extra tuft right there, so I'll be adding the ear here as well, the just the ear hole. Her head's going to be a little bit lighter, brighter red than her body. And yes, this did end up becoming a girl. This time when I'm shredding, I'm not trying to break it up, I'm trying to blend it. Then twist. So now I got to go over the cheek. I can add a little bit more because I have that white spot there. I want to cover that up. Okay. Trying to lock this tighter right here, so it mimics an ear. Okay. And we're going to take the black again, and we're going to fill the ear hole with the black. That's too much. There. Now I'm going to finish this eye, and then we're going to go to the other side, try to mirror it as much as possible, and then just keep working back and forth. And that's how you keep the faces looking pretty even. But I want to show you a trick that I do with the eyes, especially since somehow it got determined this is a girl. I don't remember if that was Rachel that said that or Nebulana, but the dragon's a girl. So we have to have some more depth to the eye here. And we're going to put in lashes, or mimic lashes, because I don't know where my eyelash yarn is, and it's a real pain in the butt to deal with sometimes. At least in this size it can be. You just fill that in a little bit. Keep just that little tuft sticking right out of the eye. And there's your eyelashes. Nice and easy. You can trim it down if you want. I don't. I just kind of leave it. Although I may, like this one, I'm probably going to lock it down just a little bit more. That gives more of an eyelash look. And you see how much depth that eye has. We just made that eye really, really pop. Now what I'm going to do is put a water line right in here on the lower lid. That's not going to need a lot. Yeah, these little dragons take a while. And this one I'm going to push in just a little bit more. And there you go. Look at that eyeball stand out. Thanks, Adam. She's got eyelashes, but that eyeball just really stares at you. I mean, it's just, I love it. So now the trick is to get the other side to match as much as possible. So I already, yeah, this one was just plain orange. And I do recall it being 2 strands. So that's what we're going to do again. It's not going to match perfectly. There's just no way that's happening. But it'll be close enough. If I don't drop the wool all over the floor for the cats to find later. Okay. So once again, I fold it in half and then give it a good twist. And we saw it came down closer to the nose. So we lock in that spot first. Twist some more. Now the reason I start with the eyes is because it kind of gives me an idea of who this dragon is. I want her to tell a story. And you want people to remember not only that feeling that they get from your critter, but in some ways that they remember you. Like I went to one craft sale, which was kind of a bust. It wasn't the best thing on the planet. But I had this little green sleeping dragon that I had for sale at the booth. And there was this lady from England there who now lives in the States, and she liked the dragon, and I liked the jewelry she had, so we did a trade. Well, here I'm at the farmer's market, and I looked at her, and the lady was there, but at first I'm like, nah, that can't be her. And I looked at the jewelry, and I'm like, that's got to be her. So I went and I said, you were at Elk River last year, weren't you? And she says, yeah, the dragon. And I'm like, yeah, you have my little green dragon. And she's like, yeah, she's right on my desk. And it's like, that's the kind of thing you want to evoke, is that, you know, people look at you and they remember, you know. Okay, see, this is pretty closely balanced, and that's what we want. So now we're going to do the one underneath, and then we're going to go over the cheekbone and just repeat the same process. You okay, sweetie? Doesn't sound like it. That's what I did there. Okay. Let's still keep the same twisting, which I untwisted. Sorry, my hands are in the way. Sometimes the wool tries to run away on you. There we go. That's better. So you remember this is the lower lid. And I'm kind of felting into the drying glue. But it'll work. Okay. And then we got to take the other I had a mixture of that variegated and the brighter red. This is where the painting with fiber comes in. So again, I just make sure this time that I rip it only enough to be able to get the fibers blended together. Keep the same thing. This was folded in half right here, so that's what I'm going to do. And then we're going to go over that cheekbone I made. Hopefully without going over my fingers with a needle. And this was not twisted. Stop running away on me. I don't dye my own roving. I have before, but it's kind of a pain. And there are sellers that have such beautiful colors. Like this mixed roving here that I just put together was the variegated orange that I'm using as the base for it. Actually is for people who spin their own yarns. So, some of the other rovings that I get that are colored are actually hand painted with the dyes. So the color will just kind of ombre into the center of the roving, and there'll be real pale white colors in it. But that's because they hand paint the surface of the roving after they get it carded and spun together enough to have it that far. And you can get such fantastic effects. And what I like about it is I can have multiple colors, and I can pick out the colors if I want to just use one. Like Cecil's dark lines were actually from a multicolored piece of roving, but I liked the purple, so I just grabbed it out of it. So to me, it's not, I mean, if I was doing a lot more like making cat caves and stuff like that, which I want to start doing to sell. But if I was doing a lot more like that, I'd be dyeing my own. But I find this to be very, very effective. Okay, so we have that. Let's see, I wanted to keep that demarcation for the eyelid in there. And now we're going to do the upper eyelashes. The upper one's a little thicker than the lower because we want that eyelash to hang over. Yeah, that is the same color. I had to make sure I had the right one for a moment there. Oops. Sorry, bonked my head into the iPad. That's going to come down a little bit. All right, then we put the lower lash in. That, again, you got to remember is a little thinner because that's the water line in your eyelid. Make sure it matches. Bump the lamp, because why not? Reasons. And there we go. She kind of looks like a dog right now. And that's a little too much roving there, so just pluck that off. Okay. All right. So that's where we've got the eyes set in. So, I think what I'm going to do is actually call this because I have to go to Walmart and then I have to submit job applications and I have to adult. And so what I'm planning is I work tomorrow and then I'm off Tuesday for sure, I know. But we will be revisiting this dragon and get more work done on the face and start getting this body nice and sturdy and get some legs on her because she definitely needs legs. Yeah, right now she looks like a dog with evil eyes and wings. All right, so you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you for popping in to visit with me and keep me company. So blessed be you guys. Have a great day.